Hello everyone and welcome back to my playthrough, and I ended the last part with the second AOA chief on the horizon, and I'm going to be diving straight in and hopefully this should go relatively smoothly. I seem to remember this chief having at least one Digimon that's vulnerable to fire. I'm thinking something like Cherrymon, something like that. Yes. Well, that is a huge positive, because Gigafire is very effective, but I must do speed up first. I can't remember what the other Digimon are, but I seem to recall this chief on the whole being easier than the previous one. Now that might just be that it works that way for me with, you know, the way that I fight, the Digimon I use, the techniques I use. Or maybe he actually is easier. I can understand a lot of people struggling on the first chief, mostly due to Chimeramon. Chimeramon seems to be a Digimon that gives lots of people a fair amount of trouble. So this is my fourth speed up. I reckon I may also try Fire Field. It's just strength and fire, weaken ice. So presumably it makes fire techniques even more powerful, presumably. So that should make Gigafire even more effective. Cherrymon's doing quite a lot of damage, and his attack is like a draining attack where he recovers HP, but having not done any damage yet, he hasn't actually gained any benefit from it. And he gets back up. I would have thought that with, you know, with Cherrymon being vulnerable to fire, I would have thought that a technique like Gigafire would have taken him out in one, especially with a fire field. And I had a lot of confidence in the idea that he wouldn't evade a single attack since I've done speed up. And so far that's been the case. And that was a critical hit as well, so had I had that the first time it would have defeated him. And Scorpiomon is like a water Digimon. Fire's not going to help me much here, but there's no reason why Darkness should be weak against him. He managed to evade one despite all of my speed ups. And that was actually weak. Not gonna lie there. And this should be pretty effective. Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, it didn't exactly, percentage-wise, it didn't really do a great deal, but considering my level and everything, that was pretty big damage, and that I think was a critical hit. But let's maintain our speed. Since I have a fire field, I'm actually going to try Gigafire. Okay, it's not a good idea. Well, okay, well, I'll just try this then. Whereas HP's in the red. Another critical hit. I'm disappointed with the strength of Black Dart, I'm not gonna lie. I was under the impression that it would be better than this. But that's the end of Scorpiomon. And who does that leave? Sneemon. Well, this I'm happy with. I mean, usually I'm not pleased to see the sight of Sneemon, because he's a very fast Digimon. He's powerful. And yeah, and he's usually a pretty hard Digimon to win against, but since he's vulnerable to fire, I am actually happy to be facing him, and that was a critical hit. I was kind of torn between whether I should do speed up first or if I should heal first, and wow, I certainly wasn't pleased to see a critical hit there. Even if I didn't heal, I think I still would have survived. I think my HP was 1400, the attack was 1200. Okay, well, with the speed that I've got, I think I can just see this out with Giga Fire. Or can I? No, I can't. I can survive 2 attacks. I should be able to survive a critical hit. But he's defeated now anyway. Okay, so that's the second AOA chief taken care of. And he's dropped an item as well, very similar to the one dropped by the previous one, and that will be dropped by the other 2. And I now need to head to the underground lake place, but I'm gonna rest first because those battles consumed a fair amount of MP. I don't think I need to be saving because the difficulty of that battle wasn't exactly breathtaking. But yeah, now I need to head back in here because the Oinkmon that was blocking the way is no longer blocking the way. And it's kind of annoying for when it's your first time of playing, it's kind of annoying that your character, after winning against the AOA chief, automatically leaves and returns to the previous area of the city, the previous part of the city. Because when that happened to me, it made me assume that my usefulness in the city was over and that it was time to, go elsewhere, explore elsewhere. And because of that, it was ages before I came here and, received the Digi-Egg so that I could core Digimon and make progress. And if it happened to me, then it's probably happened to other people as well. It would be a lot more helpful if your character, after beating the AOA chief, was to go through to the area where you can core Submarimon, which then would be hinting for you to, core Submarimon and make it to the underground lake and, do a bit of exploring. I'm very pleased that it only took 2 rounds to win against Marine Devimon, because I know from a previous part I was having some pretty rough battles against him due to him, you know, evading attacks and then getting turns and then attacking twice in a row and then putting me under a bit of pressure myself. So nothing there. There is an item up here. All that leaves is the Digi-Egg. And after obtaining it, you automatically return here, which is highly convenient. Which is why when I loot that area, I always save the egg until last. Because otherwise, if I collected the egg first, I'd then have to return in order to collect anything else that's lying around. Now I will probably save before I leave here, but I just want to just sell any junk that I have. No items. The Evil Fang. No armours, no accessories. Well, that's that sorted. I don't think I need to rest again. I rested just before going to the UG lake, so I won't rest again, but I will save. And the reason for that is because of the area that I'm next going to be going to. I'm going to be remaining in this server, and I'm going to be heading for the west sector, where the battles are a lot tougher than the ones here in the south sector. And there is an element of worry in my mind, so at least by saving, it's not like I'm going to have mountains of progress undone should I end up getting a game over. When I first arrived in this server, I was, I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit all over the place. I mean, I knew the main objectives that I needed to carry out. I knew that I needed to go to the east sector city to defeat the AOA chief, and then follow him up with the second AOA chief, who's located in the south sector city, the one I had just defeated. But then I was a bit unsure of the order, like there onwards, because there's lots of things to be done, but I wasn't exactly sure what order to go in. There's, with all the different sectors, with there being 2 servers, and with all the different sectors in both servers, I was a bit unsure of like my next move, but I have thought it over, and I've decided that I'm going to remain in this server, and I'm going to go to the west sector. Obviously I don't have access to the west sector city, which is fine. That's not the reason why I'm going there. The reason why I'm going there is to head to the Mirage Tower, because that's where the AOA resistance is located. Kenny mentioned about the AOA resistance, and it's located in the Mirage Tower, and Kenny is among them, and they have a leader, and it is absolutely mandatory for me to speak to that leader, because it triggers dialogue with Lisa and all of that gang later on. And I am not fond of this Digimon. He's like a water dark Digimon. Terra Destroyer is not going to be great with the stats that I have. You do get a nice amount of experience with this guy, but he's going to be an absolute nightmare, or at least I think he will, because he's like water dark. And he's a lot tougher than Marine Devimon. I don't think it's going to be worth the hassle. I'm going to hope I can just run away from these battles. Yeah, he's pretty powerful. I couldn't run. I got away that time, but it's vital I keep my HP topped up. Yeah, for me to win convincingly against that guy, it's just not going to be worth the amount of MP that's going to go into the speed ups and the mega heals and whatever attack I decide works most effectively. But it's okay, he only features in the seabed, so he can only affect me while I'm in the seabed. And the west sector, although it is dangerous, fire on the whole does serve you relatively well. But that doesn't mean I'm not worried, because the Digimon are tough and they can do status harm as well. I can think of, off the top of my head, at least 2 Digimon who can poison you. I've got no means of curing poison, so getting poisoned could be hugely problematic. But certainly the battles are going to be more winnable in the west sector than here in the seabed, just solely on the fact that Gigafire is going to be that much more helpful. And I will just do some minor exploring just to see if there's any items or anything. As I was saying though, I have to go to the Mirage Tower, and all I need to do is speak to the people there, mainly the leader, because it triggers dialogue at a later bit. And as well as going to the Mirage Tower here, the other immediate priority is to return to the Azuka server, go to the North Sector, defeat the North Sector leader, and then from there go to the area where I'm able to access the real world for 180 seconds and make further progress from there. Once I've sorted that out, that then results in your character saying that it might be a good idea to consult Lisa and the others, you know, for support to try and figure out what to do next. And if you have spoken to the resistance leader in the Mirage Tower, then that then triggers dialogue where the items dropped by the AOA chief, they get brought up, and it's suspected that they could be useful for making progress. And then from there, thanks to the help that you get from Lisa and those people, you are then able to access the West Sector at City and the North Sector City here in this server, so that you can defeat the other 2 AOA chiefs which then enables you to make it past the Nightmon, so that you can access the main central sector city within this server. And I was struggling a bit because I wasn't sure whether to stay in this server first and go to the Mirage Tower, or go to the Asuka server and, you know, head to the North sector, but I've decided on the order. I've decided to stay in this server for now and do everything that I'm able to do for the time being, and then head to the Asuka server and then do everything that I can do there before needing to come back here. And as well as doing what's necessary for storyline purposes, there are also other objectives that I do have. I mean, there's a lot of seabeds that take you to areas that I haven't yet been to. There's seabeds that contain items, and this guy can poison you. And as well as the seabeds, there's also like the circuit boards that can take you to places you haven't been yet, circuit boards that contain items, circuit boards that contain Digimon who want to card battle you, which usually, if you beat them, you're then presented with a legendary card. I know that there's a couple that are mandatory for enabling you to complete the Dual Island, because one of the Etamons won't battle you until you get his mic back from a Black Agumon that took it. And I've been poisoned, and I better hope that this finishes the guy off, so that poison doesn't take any toll. Good. And yeah, and just in general, there's places to go, items to obtain, Digimon to card battle, people to card battle, Digimon to battle, people to battle. So I already mentioned about the Digimon that loiter in this server, like you know, like Black King Numemon and all them lot. There are an awful lot of loose ends to tie up, but I think I've decided that for now I want to focus on what needs to be done for storyline purposes. Hopefully it will all go smoothly, and when it gets to the stage where I'm starting to struggle, you know, it gets to the stage where I think, okay, I could do with more grinding, I could do with having more experience under my belt, maybe then I will then think about, you know, exploring the circuit boards and the seabeds and, you know, all things like that. You know, think about grinding on the Cardmon so that I can get better cards and hopefully win at the Dual Islands. Just all stuff like that. So when there comes a point where I think to myself, okay, I need to be grinding, that's when I will then start to tie up all these loose ends that I've spoken about, and it will be in the interest of fulfilling duties that need to be fulfilled and also grinding at the same time, and, you know, sort of, you know, tying two things in at once. Because at the moment, I don't think I need to be grinding, although I might struggle a bit. I don't think I'm dependent on further grinding, so I don't think I need to grind just yet. So for now I'm just going to keep my focus on what needs to be done for storyline purposes, and having spoken to the leader here in the Mirage Tower, I can now head back to the Asuka server, and that is actually what I'm going to be doing. And I think I will stay in the west sector, and I will prioritise changing servers, because I need to be in the Asuka server in the north sector, but I think I will just prioritise switching servers rather than switching sectors. And then when I am back in the Asuka server, I can then make way to the north sector, and I will probably switch between the two servers via the circuit boards rather than the bug maze, because I could go back through the Forest Inn and go through the bug maze and everything, but now that I have the ability to core Digimon, I think it would be better, it would make more sense for me to switch between the two servers via the circuit boards, because there are a lot of circuit boards and they are handy at taking you between servers. Now, my knowledge on the circuit boards isn't fantastic, so it may take me a little while to find one that can help me with what I need, and even if I do find one that's relevant, I still might, get lost somewhat. With these battles, I'm doing more than I need to in order to simply win, but I just don't want to give this kind of opposition any kind of chance, really. I just want to just win. Right, I think there's a circuit board down here. There is. I don't know if this can take me to the Asuka server, but the circuit boards do contain random Digimon, and they are quite helpful at giving you tips, advising you on where to go, and all things like that. No Digimon there. No Digimon there either. And, well, this leads to somewhere. Ah, brilliant. Okay, no complaints from me. This is exactly where I wanted to be. And now that I have the Digi-Egg, I can't think of anything to do other than to go to the north sector. And there is one circuit board which, going by my memory, I'm sure this circuit board takes you to the north sector. I think it can also take you to the plug cape in the central sector, but let's not worry about that. This is the circuit board that I'm going to be exploring, but I need to really be ending the part here. So in the next part you will see me try and make it to the north sector via this circuit board. So thank you for watching this part. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next part.